Let's get the conversation started. Are we ready? We ready for the conversation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we're talking about what's love got to do.
Oh,
God. Let's first of all, let's talk about marriage, the history of marriage. You know, marriage used to be back in biblical days, and it was not about what it's about now. It was about
procreation.
Yeah, and that and status. For families, you know, you were security for families. You know, you got it was arranged marriages.
Right.
So you know, for security and the protection of the security of the family. So again, and again, if the purpose of to have children, populate. Yeah, absolutely. Now it's about being happy.
And not even that.
People, why do people get married? Why do people get married? Let's talk about that. Why do people get married nowadays? Y'all better say something quick.
I needed.
Well, I know why I got married.
I needed stability. I needed stability.
Okay.
And I needed a partner who would help me become the person that I knew I could be, created to be.
That's good.
And I
keep working on him, Karen. Keep working on him.
She is. She really is. It's an ongoing job. But no, stability was really it, man.
Gotcha.
I didn't need somebody who was like me.
My God.
I needed somebody almost the opposite of me.
Wow.
I needed somebody who I prayed, like, it sounds cliche-ish, but no, I prayed for a wife.
Right, sure.
I didn't pray for, this. I prayed for a wife. And I really wanted God to send someone for me, according to what God's will was with me. Because, man, if I would have chose Doc, oh my God, I would have.
And you would have messed it up.
I would have messed it up.
That's good.
No, that's real good.
DeMarco?
I got married young, so I was 23 when I proposed, 24 when I got married, and there was one statement that stood out. My grandfather, when you know, but he told me that love was a choice for me.
That's right.
And the woman that I choose to love is the one that I would be with
That's great.
forever.
That's good stuff.
And so when my wife would ask me, why do you love me? Even to this day, I say, because I choose to.
Yeah.
And so marriage for me at that time was the ultimate choice. I would definitely agree with OG by saying probably all the females that I dealt with prior to just didn't have that final, right? But it was just something about my wife that there were things that I couldn't see, but I knew futuristically, if I was to fall or fold or whatever, she would always be solid and would always be. So marriage for me at that moment was finding that one that would match me, but also be the one that pushes me.
Yeah.
Because I've always been independent, very strong, didn't need nobody. And she's the one, for the last 10 years now, who has broken me down in ways that I could never think I would allow somebody to break me down.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And,
good, man.
but did it in such a way that as she would break me down, you'd learn that lesson and you come back around and be that much stronger. And so
She's a
the
builder.
definition of marriage for me is, I would say it's being written every day, every year.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to just say, man, this is what I want for marriage, et cetera. Because if I go off the definition that I had back then,
Wow.
I'd probably be married to somebody totally different.
Man, that was good. I'm going to give you 5 black points back.
Okay,
man.
okay.
I appreciate it.
Now you're only down 5.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 5 points back.
Greg?
Well, oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. That's my theme song about my wife.
Wow.
Because the truth of the matter is that,
You're going to kill me. My wife don't have a theme song.
that's between you and I. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Because I'm divorced and remarried.
Yeah.
I've shared that, I got married young as well. The first time I was 21. when I got married. And, you know, I was a little too young to really understand what is necessary to be a husband.
Yeah.
I'll take ownership of that.
Right.
And to really be in a marriage and understand what marriage is for. And so after divorcing and being single for a little while, and I recognized that I needed to stop settling for what I know I didn't pray for.
There it is, Doc.
I had to stop settling for what I know I didn't pray for. And so I got very intentional, even in dating. Like, we was one woman, we went out on one date, and I told her sitting at the table, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
We won't go out again.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I needed.
Yes, sir.
And what I really needed was a Michelle Obama. I needed that woman that, you know, like you see memes of Michelle when they were driving down, they saw a guy at the gas station, and Barack said, if you had married him, you'd have married a person at the gas station. And she said, no, if I'd have married him, he'd be the president. Come on, Doc.
Yeah, that's
See?
right.
And I needed a Michelle Obama. I needed that. And so when I met Leslie, you know, she had her own, she was on her own 2 feet. She rejected me for 8 months before she would even go out to dinner with me, you know, because she had to make sure that I was ready
Yes, sir.
for what she had to bring to the table. And when we finally connected,
Over with.
man,
Now we here.
now we here.
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
And she's my biggest cheerleader. The
Yeah.
support that I get from her it can't be explained. You know, the way she loves my daughters as if we had 4 biological children together. It just came together the way only God could do it. And so I knew that she was the one. I knew she was one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Question, guys. Been through the pandemic. All you guys are married. You went through the pandemic.
My God.
How did you, just briefly, how did you carve out time, I mean, through the pandemic, just for the two of you? And I know it's difficult. You have, you know, little different scenarios for all of you. But I mean, you got the older daughter, but you have young kids.
Absolutely.
So I mean, empty nester, but you love your grands, and whenever you can, you get your grands, and you know, for you, young baby. So how did you all find that time with everything that was going on around you in the pandemic, just to stay connected with each other? Because there's people out there who have struggled.
Absolutely.
Through the pandemic, because you were in a space together for a
Absolutely.
long time when you
And they
weren't
found out
before,
they
so
didn't
you
like
didn't
each
have
other.
that distance. So how did
Absolutely.
you just, with everything going on, how did you just, what are something that you all just did just for the two of you?
You did just that. You found time.
Yeah.
You did just that. You were intentional and said, okay, this is the time
Yes, sir.
that we're going to cut out, and it is now a habit.
Yeah.
It has turned out to be a habit. In the evening, both of us get off. We get home. We spend time watching the news. Sometimes we ain't watching it, and watching maybe 1 or 2 shows before I go study, before she goes and does what she does. She likes painting and all of that. But this is our designated time.
Sure.
And on the weekend, for the most part, you know, we're doing things together.
Right.
But just what you said, how did you manage to find time? That's what we did.
You made the time.
We found
You
time.
found it. Gotcha. That's
And
good.
it has to
Yeah.
be intentional.
Absolutely.
And it has to be according to what you guys do.
Right.
Like, you got to really find out what got me here, what got us
Right.
to being married and liking each other.
Right.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Let's find the time to do that.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
It I definitely say, well, one, during the pandemic, we were able to stay sane because we were on 2 different sides of the house when we were working throughout the day. So
you
she
still
was
had
on
some
one
of those
side, I was on the other. So it still felt like we were going to work, et cetera.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it did teach me to be a better listener.
Okay.
Because traditionally, for me, outside of my household, I could, with students, with anybody that I work with, I can listen to your issues, your problems, your highs, your lows all day. Like perfectly. But I found myself when I would get home, it's like you want to shut off the world, but I would find myself shutting off my family.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's
real
like, man,
good.
I gotta decompress somehow.
That's real
And
good.
so I noticed that my wife would often talk about thoughts, feelings, stuff like that. And I would listen, but I wouldn't listen. You know how we do as males.
Right.
is
Right.
We'll sit
Passing the time, watch.
Yeah.
Chime
yeah.
in. Wow.
That's good.
But it made me listen to her with intent, to hear the details of work and her feelings, her emotions, to where my responses shifted.
Gotcha.
And when my responses shifted, it was like we stepped from friendship to best friendship.
Yeah.
Because now she would say, I could really tell you anything now.
That's good.
And so once we crossed that threshold within the pandemic, now it's just like when we have those date nights and all of those different things that we go on, I could seriously sit and just focus on you
Wow.
and listen to whatever it is
Wow.
and be okay with it versus, I ain't got time to hear that. Let's
Right.
talk about something.
Right.
It kind of sounds like what Jeff said. It just
Yeah.
it become you created a habit.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do something. What do they say? 21 days is it?
Yeah,
it
becomes
makes
a
a
habit.
habit. Makes a
Yeah.
habit. So you do something long enough, it becomes a part of your
Yes, sir.
routine and what you do. So that's good stuff.
And he said something that was really good too, because when you would shut things off, and by the time you came home, you found yourself
realize.
cutting her off
Right.
too. And my wife explained to me, she said, you know, you're the person that I have to be able to vent to
Yep.
and be
If
able
you're
to
not
talk
available,
to.
that's a problem.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So
that's good.
if I come home
Absolutely.
and I'm trying to shut down, and it allows her to be cut off,
Right.
then what do we have?
Absolutely.
So I've learned to decompress on my way home.
Wow.
So that I can start all over
Sure,
again
sure.
Right.
That's good.
in the next phase.
That's awesome.
Greg?
You know, our situation in my household was interesting because was an interesting dynamic because we had a pandemic baby.
Yep.
We had our last son on March 8th, and the world shut down on March 11th.
Oh wow.
So when we checked out of the hospital and went home, we were stuck in the house
With that baby.
with that baby.
Wow.
And just us. Thankfully, her family was here because they were here. Her parents were here because she had just had the baby. So her parents ended up staying with us, you know, for 2-3 months, front end of the pandemic. But with that, you know, what's an interesting thing is, you know, even to DeMarcus's point, we realized throughout the pandemic that we really do like each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, as a matter of fact, my sister-in-law, who stayed with us as well during that time, she even made a comment once that y'all two really do like each other. yeah, like it's genuine. It's genuine. And so my wife and I, we have practices. Like, for example, even with her, because of her working remotely at that time, she eventually changed jobs, started another job that's 100% remote. So my wife has not gone back to a work building
Okay.
since
already
the
accustomed
top of
to
the
it.
pandemic.
Yeah.
So we've been home
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have certain shows that we watch.
Yeah.
We eat together. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll wait to eat until she's ready to eat,
Absolutely.
which can be the most aggravating thing in the whole wide world.
I agree with you.
But
Yeah.
we don't eat. We
You willing to starve for
Yeah,
it.
I'll wait
Gotcha.
until she's ready to eat. So just practices of making sure that we have
what's up.
time together to talk and just just be us.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Questions. Fill in the blanks.
Oh,
You ready?
Wait, hold on. What you
Fill in
mean?
the blank. Fill in the blank.
Okay.
My wife's blank made me want to date her.
Oh, personality.
and we'll be back right after this.
My wife's blank. One
made me
word.
wanna date
My
her.
wife's blank.
Personality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Margaret?
Come back to me.
Greg?
I'm going to say energy.
Okay. Back to you.
God, that was fast.
You gotta go
Come on,
home.
Dad.
I gotta go home.
It's all right.
My wife's smile.
All right.
See that?
All right.
That's
Okay,
good.
now here's the next. Oh, getting better. My wife's blank made me want to marry her.
And we'll be right back after these moments.
Attitude. The way she carried herself, her attitude.
Okay.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Who made me want to marry her? Her passion.
Okay. We'll take that. Greg Kirkland?
I'll say her support.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. It took me blank long to know my wife was the one for me.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh. Very early.
2 months.
Yeah. Early.
What's
Yeah, but-
early?
About a month.
Okay.
Yeah, before she decided to go out with me, I already knew that.
Yeah.
All right.
That was easy.
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
All right. Women who blank
Oh God. You
was
can't
the
even
biggest
think of it.
turnoff for me.
What?
Women who blank was the biggest turn
Oh, I
off.
got a list of that, then. Women who blank
Hey,
Give me a
man,
list.
step
Just give me
easy.
one.
Step
was the
easy,
biggest
Doc.
turnoff.
Just, yeah.
Who
Women who blank was the biggest turn off for you when you were dating. That was a turn off. Women who.
too extra.
Okay.
Okay. I would say too argumentative.
Okay.
I would say just talk entirely
talk
too
too
much.
much.
Okay.
I wanted to say that. I
I
wanted
talk too much. I ain't got to date him, so we
I wanted to
good.
let y'all go out there on
right.
that one.
I ain't got to date him.
So
Here we go.
they said it.
Y'all notice Ron ain't answering none of these
Yeah,
questions. It's all right.
This
It's
is
okay,
for y'all,
though.
Mary.
It's
for
okay.
y'all. This is for
Uh-huh.
y'all.
This
y'all.
is for us.
That's for y'all.
Uh-huh.
It's about being in this chair is beneficial. I don't want to answer. Okay, here we go. I can't believe my wife puts up with my blank.
Oh, nonsense.
I can't believe that we put up with your nonsense.
Adventures. So you put another
Okay,
adventures.
that's the better word.
All right, DeMarcus.
Nonsense. I couldn't believe she put up with my man, I ain't never had to think this hard.
Indecisiveness. Look like.
That is probably it. That is probably it right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. That might be it.
That might be the one.
That might be the one.
I would say.
That might be the one.
You never thought about it, did you?
Oh my God.
You think that
I'm
could be
gonna
it?
pass it to Greg.
Greg Kirkland.
I would say my procrastination.
Oh God.
Okay. Now, Kirkland.
No,
right back to you again.
God, y'all answer these questions too
Make a
fast.
decision, man. Make a decision.
I definitely wouldn't be that dear. It would probably be who I was the first 2 years of marriage.
Got it.
Because I was still trying to come out of
Okay.
being independent.
All right. All right. Now this is a good one. This is going to help us for the next segment. How much my wife makes is blank important.
Oh,
Not
it's-
important.
Oh, somewhat important.
Okay.
Not important to me.
Somewhat important.
Yeah, sit on it for a second. Gotta think about that thing.
I won't say very. I'll just say somewhat.
Okay.
I'll agree.
Really?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
How much she makes?
It's somewhat important
Yeah.
because of the decisions that have to be made as
At
the
the household.
household.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Now,
I don't want
I saw a.
sitting on the passenger side, my best friend's ride,
Sing it.
trying to holler at me.
We're going to talk about what's really important in relationships. I heard a quote. It's an old quote from a lady, actress. She said, they asking about a man's checkbook and his money and loving him. And she said, if I love him, I don't need his checkbook. If I don't love him, his checkbook don't matter.
My God.
If I don't love
If
him,
I love him, I don't need his
need it.
checkbook.
But if I don't love
If I
him,
don't love
it don't
him,
even matter.
It don't matter how much money he makes.
I believe that. Okay.
I don't.
You don't? Why not?
Let's be okay. I believe
Tread lightly.
realistically.
Well, and think about the context. The context of what they're saying is if when they talk about that's what it's all about for a woman is just his money. You know, when they talk about, in that context,
Oh,
it is just
okay.
about, you know what I mean, in that
Yeah.
context. So
Yeah.
not in general, but that was kind of the context of it. If that's what somebody needs. So her response was, if I love him, I don't need his checkbook.
Right,
Meaning,
right.
that's not what I want him for.
Right.
Just like if I don't love him, no matter how much money he makes,
it don't even matter.
It's not going to matter.
Right. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing he could do.
Nothing you can do.
Right.
I would say to give these gentlemen time to think, because they seem a little like they just a little confused.
Wow.
I would say based
That
on
ain't
that
the
statement.
pot calling the kettle.
That's the
I
indecisive.
would say,
Oh, okay. So you done finally decided on what to say. Go ahead.
Standing
I
8
would
count
say-
on that one.
I would say with this age group, with that particular question, the first one does not matter. Because when you look at how millennials and forward have been showing love, females to males, Right now, they're promoting that you have to be able to provide, give me all of these extracurricular things for me to even talk to you. Now, the second part of that, I definitely agree with, because when you look at my demographic, if you can't supply me with financial things, we ain't got nothing to talk about. And you see it in the dating world now. You see it with celebrities on how quickly they change from different person to different person. But mostly the females have been so vocal with, he couldn't pay for my weed, or he couldn't pay for this car that I wanted. You see it where, so I'm serious.
Couldn't pay for the weed?
Weed.
Oh.
Pop. Stay with us.
I gotta stay. I mean, that might be a possibility.
Hey, what?
But
Somebody that's
realistically,
reality.
Yeah, for somebody, yeah.
You'll see women go on live. Like I believe it was a meme or something that I saw a while back where a female came on and said, this guy, I think we were talking about guys flying them out, right? Mm-hmm. So if a guy can't fly me out for the weekend on this, he ain't for me. Or if a guy can't pay certain bills that I ask up front, he ain't for me. So you see that from a financial, based on that quote. If I don't love him, heck, if I don't like him, then your money don't matter.
Fauntleroy, you got nothing for that?
No.
Look,
Yeah.
we got a lot more to talk about on the next segment. That's
Yeah.
debatable. Do not go anywhere.
Yeah, don't
We've
go
got a
nowhere.
good one.
They
We'll be
trying
right
to
back.
get me, but now look at me.
If your support system wasn't what you wanted, what do you suggest if a person's going through what you've gone through? What type of support system do you feel they would need to have?
They would need to open up to mental health. That's the first thing. As traumatic as it was, I know in the African American community or the brown people, we don't believe in mental health. And that was one of the strongest things that I went to.
When you have dealt with disappointments on our level, how the devil really wants you to isolate yourself. You want to get to counseling. You want to get to people who've gone through the same things that you've gone through.
Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
A lot of what I've seen in my practice and doing therapy for over 26 years is a lot of times when people come and they talk about, particularly in family dynamics and particularly in marital dynamics, people don't feel safe. They don't feel as if they can have conversations that are needed because they are in fear of how they're going to be perceived and how they're going to be received.
We are back, and it's time for That's Debatable on Relationship Day.
How we were just debating.
Although everything seems like a debate. Talking about relationships. So I saw two different, on TikTok, I saw two different videos.
God, now
I'll
we're
show
doing
them to
TikTok.
you. There's
Oh,
two different
God.
videos. They were two of the most amazing videos. They were both the same thing. The first video was a woman and her husband and their two children at the airport.
Okay.
And the woman is telling them how she's narrating the video, and she tells them how she would do anything for them. She would have their back no matter what. And she asked each one of them, "Do you believe that?" The children said yes. Husband said yes. And they're at the airport now. And she says, "Okay, take a look over there. Who do you see?" It was his parents, his mom and dad, her in-laws. They had moved from some town, from I think North Carolina to, expected to go 3 hours away. They had to move to Texas. So he's never been away from home like that, and he was struggling. So she sent for his parents.
Right.
And in the video, she's saying, "I would do anything for you. You needed your parents."
Wow.
And that's so they're here.
Wow.
There's some things I can't do for you. You
only
needed your mama.
Wow.
Here's your mama.
Wow.
And it was just heart, just like, wow, this is what this woman did for this man.
Gotcha.
That's the first one. Second video is two young people, probably in their 20s, sitting in a parked car. And the woman is talking to the man and said, you know what? It doesn't matter what, you hold your head up. I got you. I guess it's almost like he must have lost his job and struggling. She said, it doesn't matter. If you have to move in with me and we got to stay up at night looking for jobs, we got it. I will not let you fall. You got us. As long as you trying your best to put food on the table, you got us. He put his head down. She took his head,
Rolls it up.
picked it up, said, no, you look at me. You will never have to be by yourself. It was two of the most amazing videos. I'll share those with you all.
He better have married her the next day.
This is my point. What you just said is where I'm going with that, because I think the stereotype is still out there from women looking at men as if it is still all about the physical, all about the sexual part of it. And I think you always have people who that's important to.
Right, sure.
But for, I think, the overwhelming majority, that is not the case. It is difficult when men are confused about what type of person they want to be with, what they want to do with their future. So sometimes that confusion and ambiguity can make it seem like they're after one thing when the man just may not be sure about everything.
Right.
But what DeMarcus just said is my point.
Yeah.
That is what I think men are really looking for.
Oh, yeah.
A woman who will sit there in that car and she just, you will not.
Absolutely, to what Greg said.
What you just said.
That's Michelle Obama right there.
Have your back no matter what. It's difficult for a man to be a man already in an environment, especially if he's not where he thinks he should be in life.
Absolutely.
But to have somebody that's got you and to see that. Now, that can go two ways. You can have somebody that sees that and reminds you that you're not where you should be.
Right.
Or you could have somebody see that and say, don't matter, you got me, and this is where we're going.
Yeah.
So,
hey, man, let me tell you, so I had that several different times. We fell on some lean times, and my wife was like, hey, look, we're going to do this.
Yeah,
we're going to do this together. And then when I got sick, she, taking 5 steps. I remember the goal was to take 5 steps by myself. And, she walked with me. And, unfortunately, she had to cook. Some of the neighbors brought a lot of food over, but she had to take control over something that I was in control. And I was worried about it because I was too much control. But she did it. Man, she got partners, and what she couldn't do, she got other people to do.
Right.
And I was so impressed with that. I was like, man, she's got my back. And then through all these years of school, there were times where I was just like, man, this is too much. I'm too old. What am I doing? I don't need to do this. And she would say, no, no.
Sure.
What do we need to do?
Absolutely.
It was always we.
Good, man.
What do we need to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, listen, I got the dogs, or I got this. If anybody calls, give me your phone.
Absolutely.
You got to do this homework. You got to do this studying. Let's tighten up your office so you got some time. We're going to do this.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow,
that's
man.
good. It's mind-blowing.
It is,
It's
man.
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing because
It is beautiful, man.
It gives it, because it's twofold. You have that woman who, if I do fall, let me not just say woman, it could be male, female, it could be us to them, them to us, to where when they do see us fall, they tear us down even more.
Yeah.
Right? That's horrible. And I've experienced that before but I was young because I got married at 24. So there was a female that I dated for a long period of time who I was like, okay, she's solid. Introduced her to my moms, everything but my mom's. Always look, she said, it's something about her. It's something about her.
Listen to your
and
mom.
so, and it wasn't that my mom didn't like her. My mom saw the like how she was, how I
Mother's
was.
intuition.
But it was that
Yes,
intuition
sir.
about her.
Mother's
And,
intuition.
and it happened. We dated, we moved in together. And I think it was the moment I had lost my job and I was just trying to figure out what I was gonna do, she tore me down the moon.
Listen to your mama.
How can you supposed to be able to do this and this and that? And so as a man, you already on the floor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You gonna stomp me
Right,
through
right,
the
right.
floor now?
Right.
good.
But my wife, she has that eye, what you explain, where it's like they can see, they can pierce through us, I believe they got a superpower. When they know that we gonna marry them or whatever, I believe they can go all the way in the future and see exactly all the potential that we have and make it a reality. Not just to be a cheerleader, but to be that rib, that final piece that was missing from you, to say, now that I'm inserted, now that you whole, let's rock this thing together.
But I think reciprocity is part of the process also. You know, a woman will do that when she sees that,
Absolutely.
well, listen, my man was holding me down.
Grinding and going forward.
And he's been putting forth this effort.
But that's exactly right. But I think the beauty, and I can't wait till y'all see these videos, because until you struggle, you don't know when it's going to be flipped.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're struggling, you don't know when you're going to be back on your feet.
Yeah,
So that says a lot when you have a woman that I don't know if this man is ever going to get it just like he should. But guess what? Regardless of that, I'm going to be. Karen didn't know that whether when you first got sick, whether you were gonna get well or not. Honestly. I mean, she had no idea whether you were gonna get well or not.
That I wouldn't.
So and there are people who have bailed on people when they get sick. So without knowing that, now your situation is a little better because you were in this so long already. But again, people can. I mean, people they will bail after
people who
absolutely.
So I ain't signed up for this.
So Greg,
you know, I think that it. And we've talked about it before on this show, especially when we talk about relationships, that many times women have in their mind what they think that we look for. And it's not to say that, you know, you got to be prayerful, you have to be led of the spirit of what you should do.
For sure.
But I always say that it takes a special woman to marry ambition.
Wow. That's good. Ambition don't always show up tomorrow.
Ambition don't always show up. Listen, you know,
that's good.
But
you know what I mean?
But as DeMarcus said, you know, for a woman who has intuition to be able to see into the future and say, I can see you in the future. Your future looks better than you look now. You know, that says so much to a person who is a dreamer, to a person who is a visionary, a person who I see where I'm going, I got the potential of where I'm going, but I'm not there yet. You know, when I've stated before, you know, even earlier, that, you know, Leslie pushed me off for 8 months. There were things that concerned her. I was D4C, which meant, does he have, you know, and I had children. Does that mean he has baby mama drama? Does that mean that he has, you know what I'm saying? What are the issues that I'm going to be getting myself into? Why did he get a divorce? You know,
Commitment
what is it?
issues.
Exactly. So all of those things were things that she was dealing with in the time that she was saying no, right? Well, at the same time, for me, I recognized just off of paying attention to her, paying attention to the way she carried herself, the car she drove, the things that she did, knowing from little small conversations the things that she had. She already was a homeowner. She already had this. She had a great job. She traveled. She did this. And so for me, in the time that she was telling me no, I was also recognizing that I needed to level up.
Okay.
See? So there were certain things that I was developing about myself that I said, before I can really come to her correctly, let me be getting these things together so that I'm ready. When that time comes, because she's gonna come around. Oh, I knew that.
Oh yeah.
And you could
I knew that was gonna happen.
You could believe that you were on her radar to see.
Oh, I believe that, no doubt. I mean, come on. But what I'm saying is, now, as time went on.
How could she not?
How could she?
How could she not? That's great.
What?
Kirkland.
He's so
And that's not debatable.
He's so humble.
No, it's a conversation.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Now, watch this. As we got into the relationship, as a musician, I have good years, I have bad years. As an entertainer, you have good years, you have bad years, you have ebbs and flows. So you might have a great year, and then that next year be like, what is happening?
Overnight.
Right, exactly.
It does not.
So I got to one of those years where I wouldn't tell her, but I was sinking. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to keep, and I was paying child support, and I was doing this, and I was trying to keep my head above water, and I was paying my own rent, you know, so all those things were happening. I'll never forget one night I broke down crying.
Yeah.
And she said, what's the problem? And when I explained to her the burdens and the heaviness of what I was carrying out of concern of being able to level up, she said, What are you talking about? What makes you think that I'm not here? She said, I'm here.
Wow.
You don't have to do this by yourself.
Wow, man.
You just tell me.
That's it. That's
You didn't tell me that you didn't tell me that this was going on. You didn't tell
I
me
hope
that-
these men
and
heard what
from-
you said.
Listen,
And
You made yourself
vulnerable.
That you have to.
And from that point on,
Because a lot of people, like, they believe in potential as long as we're going to be temporarily.
potential only if I'm gonna be temporal.
Tweet that one.
I want to be I believe in your potential,
Well, I
but
don't
we
want
only going to be temporary.
permanently.
Yeah, we ain't going to be,
No, I get it. No, that's true.
No, that's
And
solid
then,
there, man.
now let's now the late Kevin Samuels, we had famous
Yeah, sure.
blogger, host, a lot of different opinions on
Absolutely.
what women. And I used to watch him, and I think some of his points or his message would get distorted by
His delivery.
the delivery.
Yeah.
His approach and his
and I
delivery.
think one of the things I got from what he used to say was that I was able to kind of funnel through all of the other
Sure.
stuff was that sometimes the expectations of both parties need to be understood and need to be more realistic about what you expect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that, do you all think that the expectations for a woman are the same as a man? Do you think
As far
what
as
they
marriage?
Yeah, and as far as just dating relationship wise,
Do you think that the expectation is the
are
same
they the same expectations?
At the end
from
of the
one to
day-
the other? You mean from
Yes.
one sex to the other?
I think at the end of the day, yeah, I think we both just want to be around somebody that we're comfortable with, because that's the basis
That's
of
good, yeah.
everything. Because if you're not comfortable with the person that you're with, you can't do anything. I mean, that's the base right there.
That's good. That's good because you can't even have certain conversations.
Yeah, you
if
can't have
you're not-
conversations.
that's
You
good,
got to
but-
struggle with everything.
good.
But I also think it's relative. I also think it's a case by case.
Okay,
I,
that's
ca-
fair.
I, I, yeah,
That's
because I can even use myself for an example, right? I have in the season of my life where I was dating, right? There were certain moments where I would take a different female to the same place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I remember one specific example. I took one female to a restaurant and she ran me up. She ate off that side of the menu.
Yeah.
She had every drink.
Yeah.
She ran me up.
And I would have ran out the door.
I knew.
Oh,
Dine and dash.
I said, okay.
Hey, I'll be right back.
I'm not going to say
Now,
that.
no, don't.
I know where
You
you're
leave that
going.
alone. You leave that alone.
Be some running.
You leave that alone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But now I've turned around. Come back.
I'm sorry.
Come back.
I'm sorry.
But now I've turned around and taken another young lady, same place.
Yeah.
And modest, it's been affordable, good conversation.
Yes,
it was
yeah.
about the moment
yeah.
more so than it was about look where I am, look where he brought me, let me get mine
Yeah.
out of the experience because,
you. Know who
and
this
so
is,
with
et
that,
cetera, yeah.
the question is, do you think the expectations are the same? I think I think that it's case by case because you have some females and you have some males, but you have some females where it's about what can I get?
Yeah.
You have some men where it's what can I get?
And I think I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think it's about what you are really looking for.
Right.
So I agree with that, and I think Jeff's point is valid as well. Because if at the end of the day, if you're in this to build,
Yeah.
if you're in this to meet somebody and grow,
Yeah.
then you have to be comfortable and you have to have those conversations.
absolutely. Yeah.
So what you bring to the table should be and again, it doesn't have to be a 1-for-1, for example.
right. Sure.
If I do even in relationships, I may do the all the cooking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
You
right,
may
right.
be the
Right.
one who does the laundry.
Right.
You may do this. You know,
Right, right.
I may make more money than you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But you may be the one that budgets if we go on vacation.
Right.
You make sure you
Right.
budget to make sure
But
that we're
that's
going to
so
be
good.
okay.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
there
So
is
gotta
a
be
give and take and
honesty.
an understanding of who does what better.
There has to be a role.
Listen,
There has
at
to
the
be
end
some
of the
role.
day, we all, want to come into a place with a, an arm piece that,
Right.
is the #1 stunner.
Right.
But that if that's it,
Right. What happens when that's over?
yeah,
Right.
what happens when it's over?
And to that point, that's a great point. And for those who are just looking for somebody who is an arm for arm candy,
Right.
you need to try to be arm candy yourself.
My.
You need to, and I mean that goes for either way. You cannot want a person
My.
to go in looking fly and
You're
smooth
absolutely
and,
right.
and all of this
You're
and
absolutely
dress-
right.
I guess
and
that's
you
where that money come in.
and you don't look the same. No, and it's not about necessarily the money
That's
part.
where some of the money come in for some of these
Sometimes.
jokes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
look like
but
whatever
again,
they want to look like, as long as
Princess
that
and the Frog.
your expectations have to be,
they have to be
they have to be fair. They have
Yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah.
And again, I just think that to help people in relationships or seeking to get in relationships, it's what people want is, I don't think, and I think this is, we talk about social media all the time on the show, but I think there is a time when social media, it's a good thing, but it distorts almost
distorts.
everything.
Sure.
And you
Yeah.
say it all the time, you have to kind of go
Yeah.
beneath the surface
go
and do
beneath the
some
surface.
research
Absolutely.
and find out because,
Absolutely.
everybody that you see, on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, all the videos, what you see is the image that people want to put out.
Yeah.
I've seen those videos
'Cause, man.
where some of the women, and man, please don't dog me out for this, but I've seen the videos where they put, where people without makeup
Yeah. Oh yeah.
put makeup on you, like, oh my God.
Whole different person.
Yeah.
But then I've seen some when they put the makeup on, I was like, wow, you didn't really even need
Right,
all
for sure.
this.
And-
Like
right.
it changed your whole
It's-
everything.
it's-
You were
right.
beautiful.
It's yeah, you're right.
You were beautiful naturally.
It's,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
why did you do that?
It brings it back to what we talk about. What is the purpose? What's the goal? What are you trying to do?
What's
Because again,
important?
if you need certain things, and this is for women, hopefully to help women. If it's nothing wrong with any of the things that you put, whatever, there's nothing wrong with weave, wigs,
Right,
extensions,
right,
yeah,
makeup,
right,
any of that.
right.
But it's what are you trying to do?
Yeah,
Listen,
If you're trying to just accentuate
Yeah.
yourself, that's fine.
Listen.
But to just
true.
point, you do not want to the next morning
No.
or see
No, if I-
somebody
listen.
who looks totally
Listen
different.
to me.
And I'm just
Listen.
You're right.
If I can't take you swimming,
That's the test.
because
right there.
if I can't take you
Hey,
swimming,
how you doing? Hey,
hey,
let's go to the pool
no,
before we do anything else.
you ain't
you
the
wake
one.
up the next day and excuse me, where's your sister? Excuse me, bro, where's your sister that was here last night?
Sir, young man,
I didn't say it.
Even the
Young man.
reverend fell.
Young man, go get
when did
your
my
sister.
brother get here?
Go get your
I didn't
sister.
say it.
Oh,
I didn't say it.
not my. Oh,
No.
Don't say it.
But really,
Hey.
Oh, man.
expectations
It's true.
yeah.
is
It's
I
true.
mean,
It's true.
because nobody expects, and we have to be realistic about what
Yeah.
we expect from somebody.
Yeah.
And if you go in, if you're struggling, you said it, being honest and transparent and
Yeah.
vulnerable.
Right.
If you're struggling, you have to people know where you're struggling, but
Right.
you can't just hope for better either. Like we was talking
Yeah.
about
No,
you
ambition.
got to work.
You
You
can't
got to-
just hope that
Yeah.
one day
Well, yeah.
I want to do this and you have no.
Ron, I'm
Because-
glad you
I would
said.
say that,
I'm
though.
glad you said this, man. Like, again, it's nothing wrong with makeup and all that kind of stuff. But again, it's what are you looking for with this? Are you just enhancing your
That's right.
already beauty,
Right.
or are you
Trying to
trying
trick
to
somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say, like, and just listening to y'all with expectations, like when I first met my wife, my expectations were of a 22, 23-year-old man.
Right. Sure.
And so
'Cause there ain't nothing
what I
nice with red
expected
lipstick.
then is definitely not what I expect now,
Absolutely.
which expectations grow over time.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
even with like just meeting a person, dating, I think you have to be realistic with yourself because my wife, she was always great with it, where she was always futuristic with everything.
Sure.
So my wife actually approached, she said, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't cook,
Wow.
I'm not like I don't clean. She was raised to do it and she knows how.
Yeah.
But
She was
she
honest.
was very independent. My
Yeah.
wife was like so focused on finances and movement that she would hire somebody to clean.
Got it.
And when she said she didn't cook, she's like, I eat out all the time. So there's no point in me cooking. Well, for me, I grew up a certain way. My mom taught me you should never have to depend upon a person. So I'm gonna show you how to cook,
how to do
clean,
it yourself.
laundry,
Yeah.
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And so
how did you feel with that?
Oh, well, I live my wife said, I don't need it. We good. Because when she came to my apartment for the first time, she thought a woman was there.
Wow.
And she was like, you got
Wow.
a woman here? I said,
Wow.
no. You cleaned up? I said,
she-
yeah. But that was something that she had never.
She was honest.
She was honest.
Yeah,
with
she
it.
was honest.
didn't
Yeah.
But see, my
Yeah.
expectations
She
at
was
that
honest.
age, though, was like, I would say they were unrealistic. Because I was a kid
Yeah.
still.
Right.
I'm like, you
Look,
fine, girl.
We almost out of time. Real quick.
Oh, wow.
Let's help. I want y'all to just help the ladies out there.
Help the ladies?
Or help the ladies.
Oh, my.
Help the ladies. Ladies,
Oh,
a good dude who really likes you wants what?
A good dude.
A good dude
that really
who really
likes you.
wants you wants what?
genuineness.
Authenticity.
Authenticity and peace.
That's it.
Ooh,
And okay,
peace.
we're gonna help the brothers real quick. Brothers, if you really like a woman and you want to be with her, you need to show her what?
Accountability.
Be real.
Vulnerability.
All right. Folks, look, we hope we've helped you. Thank you for joining us for this season. We'll be back next season, all four of us, we hope. Thank you for joining us for this season.
Yes,
For the
sir.
conversation. We'll see you next season. Take care.